Hey there, Dan Sullivan here, certified financial planner and owner at Sullivan Financial Solutions. We put this video together because you asked some time back about long-term care. It is November of 2025 and it's Long-Term Care Awareness Month. So we just wanted to shine a light on a pretty unique product that helps with those rising costs. Let me be clear, I don't usually talk about products. This is not a sales pitch. I'm not trying to sell you anything. Um, and if you do decide to look into this further, make sure you're working with a licensed professional who's qualified and really knows what they're talking about. I just want to get this out there so you know what's available. So, what's LTC or long term care? Well, it's not your typical medical insurance. You're going to hit retirement age, or maybe hit retirement age, and you're going to sign up, or you've signed up for Medicare, Parts A, Parts B, maybe C, maybe D. But none of that pays if you need someone to come out to your house, or if you move into an assisted living facility or into a skilled nursing facility. Um, so care can mean a lot of things, depending on what you need and where you live, from someone stopping by your house every day to adult daycare to family stepping in. It could be a memory care unit, skilled nursing facility. But if you can't handle two of six activities of daily living, that's bathing, dressing, eating, toileting, transferring, or continence, then you qualify for coverage. All right, so now let's talk real numbers. In 2025, basic informal care runs about $72,000, okay, $6,000 a month. Home health care is about $66,000, assisted living, $68,000. And if you need full 24/7 nursing home care, that's over $109,000 a year and even more in some parts of the country. All right, so what do you do? Well, first off, realize that women need more care than men, on average 3.7 years compared to 2.2 years for men. That's just because women tend to live longer. Uh, and it goes up to 8 years for either spouse or either gender if they are in a memory loss situation, dementia, Alzheimer's, and that goes up to 8 years on average. So you do the math, it gets expensive pretty quick. All right, so right now, 70% of folks who make it to 65 will need some kind of care at some point in their lives. Um, Most people, if you're wondering how the heck do people pay for that, some people are going to have to rely on the government. They're going to have to spend down all their assets, okay, so that they qualify for Medicaid, and then they have to go to a facility that is in contract with the state, so Medicaid can pay for it. Okay, but if that's not the situation you want, then you have to find an alternative source of funds to cover the cost of long-term care. You can get traditional long-term care policies, but the premiums can get pretty steep, and people get pretty grumpy when they've been paying these rising premiums for maybe a couple of decades. They can barely afford them anymore, but you also might need long-term care in the very near future. So what else can you do? Here's where products come in. All right. It goes back to a couple laws that were passed. In 1996, HIPAA was passed, and in 2006, the Pension Protection Act was passed. And these new laws allowed insurers to get creative with the products that they could put on the market for people to cover the cost of long-term care without the cost of rising premiums, throughout their retirement years. First was life insurance with a long-term care rider, which essentially is just permanent life insurance, where you could tap into the death benefit to cover the cost of long-term care. Okay, and then there are also annuities that have long-term care coverage as well. And I want to go into one in particular that is really very strategically designed, that gives you the most bang for your buck if you are in a long-term care situation, or if you never even need it for long-term care. It's just a great retirement investment product. Let's say you've got $200,000 in a money market, in a brokerage account, savings, CDs, and you want to take $100,000 of that and put it into one of these long-term care annuities. There will be some simple underwriting. But if you qualify for the highest level, which we'll go through before you do it, but if you qualify for the highest level, that would be $315,000 of immediate benefit base for long-term care coverage. And that will grow at 2% guaranteed every year for 20 years. When it pays out, it will pay out for 60 months, which in this example is $6,200 a month. Again, tax-free when used for long-term care. Let me address the medical underwriting real quick so nobody's freaking out about that. Everybody is going to qualify for some level of coverage. The questions are very simple. Are you in a wheelchair? Have you had cancer in the last few years? It's nothing too crazy. We're going to go over it before you get to that part in the process, but you're going to qualify for a level of benefit base that is more than the premium that you put in. And for most people, it's going to be more than triple the amount. And another thing to keep in mind, it is an annuity. There are surrender charges in the first 10 years. So if you decide to bail in the first 10 years, there would be a fee, okay, that would be against the cash value that it's made so far. Okay, and let's talk about the cash value. So there's your long-term care benefit, okay, that let's say it triples and then grows at 2%. And then there's your cash value, which grows in the S&P 500 index. It can't go down, it can only go up. It's currently capped at 9%, meaning that based on S&P 500 growth, your cash value will grow between 0 and 9%. So if you want to walk away from this in 10 years, you could take all your gains in the S&P 500 over those 10 years, and you could just do some other type of annuity or whatever you want to do with that money. If you pass away, whatever's in that account value will pass to your beneficiaries. The minimum that you have to put in to get started is $50,000, but no one is turned down if there's some little health issue. You just might not get the top long-term care benefit. So if this sounds interesting, just reply to this email. We'll set up a quick 15-minute chat. We'll walk you through it. We'll answer any questions you have, and we'll make sure it's a good fit for your situation. All right, so that's it. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you all have a happy and blessed Thanksgiving. We'll talk to you soon.